What's going on, guys? My name's Kyle, and today's video is going to be about what you need to do after you order your first Amazon FBA product. So you have the order all figured out, it's shipping, and you probably feel like you have no idea what you should be doing. It's kind of frustrating because you want to be doing something all the time, but you're not quite sure what to do. So I'm going to help you help guide you through that process, what you need to do with your listing, and how to have a successful product when you first get it up on Amazon. Okay, so while it's actually shipping, that entire time, what you should be doing is setting up the listing itself. Now, you probably won't have super high quality pictures because you don't have the product yet, unless you asked for a sample ahead of time. So if you asked for a sample, you should be either yourself taking super high quality pictures or pay someone to have a high quality picture. That's probably one of the biggest things to your listing itself, is just having a good quality picture. But besides that, there's a lot of little things that you can work on to have a successful listing. Okay, so when you're waiting, what you should do is go into the niche for your product and look at the different products there and see, okay, what are they doing right and what are they doing wrong, and how can I improve that, or emulate some of the good things from some of these listings. Because especially if it's like one of your first products, you don't really have a good idea of what a good listing looks like, because you haven't really had any experience with that. Okay, so we're gonna go in here, and just for this example, I'm using the Anglizer template tool. Don't go do this product, it's not a good product, but just for the sake of example, we're gonna go through it. And so what you want to do is look at the high selling products and see, okay, why are they high selling? What are they doing right? And then how can I make that better or emulate that with my own listing? Okay, so we're gonna go here and we see, okay, this is Amazon's choice for the keywords Anglizer template tool. So let's figure out, okay, what are they doing well with this product? So the first thing we look at is their title. They use these nice little lines to divide different ideas in their title. So instead of having one giant run-on sentence, a lot of people will do that little break. Instead of a dash, the break looks a little bit cleaner. So I would recommend doing that. It's a great way to just make a clean look. And then look at some of the keywords they're using: template tool, angle ruler, right? Aluminum universal multi-angle measurement tool. So you can just look at some of the hot words or hot keywords that they're putting in their title, and then try to emulate the ones that you think are the best. For this, easy to use tool, perfect for woodworkers, handyman, DIY. And then they have the color, and then they have their brand name at the end. A lot of people will put the brand name in the beginning. I don't necessarily agree with that, just because if you don't have a well-known brand, sometimes that can either be a turn off if it doesn't sound like it could be a well-known brand, or it's kind of taking up space that you could be using for other words that are more descriptive of the product. Okay, so unless you have a business name that people know, it doesn't really help too much. So you go through here, you check all those out. Okay, I can do these things like this title. Maybe instead of DIY, you could put for anyone who loves to do it themselves, or I don't know, whatever. So you can try to improve it. We go down to the description and we see, okay, this guy, he's basically doing a main hot keyword in all caps, and then after that he goes into a little short description of whatever that keyword is, right? So what you want to do here, there's 5 different bullet points that you have on your listing, and basically each bullet point should be a feature of whatever product you have, and then you can talk about it afterwards. So it makes it easy because at a glance you can see all the top 5 features that you want to show, and then people that care enough to read more will read all the small stuff, right? So if you just have only the small stuff, which is what some listings have, it doesn't look good. People aren't going to, most people won't take the time to read it, but it's good to have just because people that are wanting to be informed about their purchase, it makes it a lot easier for them because they can just read it here. right? So they have angle ruler, multi-angle template tool, multiple applications, like saves time. So you could, look at these and look at all the listings that are doing well and see, okay, I like this one, saves time. I don't know about that one. Maybe that's not a good keyword. I could put something else in that I think is better, to make the listing better overall. I don't know why I guess that's nice to our angle template rulers have, this money back guarantee. But I mean, it's kind of up to you what you think is like the most important. And if there's something else that you think would be more valuable in that section, then you can do it that way. It's some buyers are uninformed about like Amazon's policies in general, but I mean, every product has, some type of return policy, except for maybe some like electronics or something. But anything that you'd be selling most likely is going to, they'll take returns on it no matter what you want personally. So you can include that and just act like, oh yeah, you get a free return, even though you're forced into it regardless. But if you had something else more important that you wanted to put there, it would go there. And then after you have this whole section, which are just like the bullet points, you scroll down and you can look at their product description. Okay, so the product description is basically just this block of text at the bottom of these pages, and most people don't even know that they exist, and most people won't even read it unless it's like a more expensive product that has more details. Like as a consumer myself, I don't ever look at this, and a lot of people don't even know it exists. But the only time I would look is if it was for a more expensive product and I wanted to like know more about it. So for instance, like a camera. When buying a camera, like there's a lot of little things that they can't fit in just the keywords. So I'll go down here and they'll have probably a better description of all the little things and more information. So you can do that in this area. Just realize that unless it's a more expensive product, most people won't even read that. So if you want something to be read, this is not the place to put it. This is just for the extra stuff that people that are really interested in learning about your product will read. But don't put any necessary information down here, because it's kind of hard to find. You have to scroll down like 2 pages almost to even get there. So do that. And then also for this, when you're making it, this is a great example of one way to do it properly, because they have, bullet points. It's all separated properly. It's easier to read. Some people will just have this huge block of text, and no one wants to read that. Some people can't even read it because it's just too cluttered. So this like separation is great. And then using like the proper headers just makes it overall a cleaner look, right? Also within your listing, you can have the technical details. So you can add that here and it'll show up down here. Again, just like the product description, most people aren't really going to see that, but it helps for those people that really want to be informed. And then you don't really touch anything in the additional information. This is just all stuff about your product, except maybe the shipping. Well, you don't really touch that. That's just Amazon telling them how much it's going to weigh. So for the bestseller rank, basically what that is you're putting in the specific department and like it's departments within departments for what your product is in. And so a lot of times people will do better when they put their product in a less competitive department. So for instance, like this, for example, maybe someone, instead of putting it in like sports and outdoors, they put it in tools and home improvement. You can see here they did industrial and scientific. So it's not necessarily a scientific tool, but like you could kind of stretch it to be that. And then you see, okay, they're number 21 in industrial and scientific, and then all these different, so it's actually in like rules or layout tools. So that does describe the product well, but you can kind of like experiment with that and see if you can rank better for certain, like if your product's kind of on the border of 2 different categories, you can choose the less competitive category. That way you rank better within that category. And then if you're, I think the top 100 of a certain category, when people are just searching in general, people do search in that way. So maybe people are just looking at layout tools. Well, you'll be number 21 in that search, rather than if you only had tools and home improvement for your specific niche or product. So that's pretty much all you see on the main page. But one thing that people don't realize is that you have to come up with keywords for your product. And so a lot of times that will come with, you'll see when you start running your PPC, which is pay-per-click advertising on Amazon, Amazon will come up with certain keywords that are doing well when you do an automatic campaign, and then you can add that to your backend keywords. But before you even start that, you need to have some decent keywords. So one way to do that is to go online and just look up keyword tools for Amazon. And so the one that I found was it's like keywordtool.io. There's a bunch of them, and you can try out all of them really just to see if you get anything unique. So I just go in here and then type in that main keyword, Angleizer. Okay, like I don't really know what else could possibly be there. And then it says, okay, these are the most common keywords for that main word that you input. So it's okay, Angleizer template tool. Okay, we knew that. Angleizer ruler. Okay, maybe I wouldn't have known that, so it's good to know. So you can just copy and paste all of these and put it in the back end of your listing, and that helps a lot. And then just go ahead and like search on Google for keyword tool, and then there's like a few different ones that you can go into and just see if you can find any unique keywords that aren't on the other ones, and you can put that in the back end along with anything else that you think is related to your main product that you're selling. One thing to keep in mind is that, like, especially for this, all of these lead off with Angleizer. So it's like Angleizer template tool, Angleizer template tool metal, Angleizer tool, universal Angleizer ruler. You don't need those repeat words. So if you put in Angleizer like 20 times, like that's really redundant because it only really counts once. So what you should do is just take all of these like extra descriptive words and use that as keywords and not just keep repeating Angleizer, because it doesn't take it as like bulk necessarily. It's just individual words. So you don't have to just do these repeat long keywords because you're only allowed it's like 250 words, or they change it all the time. But you want to use as many keywords as possible, so you don't want to take up your keywords with all these redundant words that it's the exact same thing, right? So if you do that, you should be set to go. And then once you are running pay-per-click advertising, more keywords will come from that, and you'll see like, oh, okay, expert Angleizer was really good for my people were searching that and then clicking on my product, and so you realize, oh, okay, well I want to start ranking for that keyword organically and not just from pay-per-click advertising. So then you go into your backend and put that into your keywords, and then that'll help you rank for that specific keyword that people are searching for. Okay. I hope that video helps you guys out trying to navigate setting up your first listing and getting it all set up for when your product comes in. Once that product comes in, make sure that you do in fact order one to your home address just to check it out, make sure everything's good to go, and you should be all set. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Thanks.